Okay, so the punchline to the name of SEACOW, I explained just now, that was Kenji was about to ruin. So it stands for Scheduling, Editing and Captioning Online Workflow. I'm reading that from the screen here. Keep forgetting what it is. So before just get into that, and I should be, so like, first of all, credit when it's due. Craig, who you can just see on this camera over here, waving, is the designer, creator, keeper, maintenance man, does everything related to SEACOW, and I'm a relatively dumb user of the system. But before I kind of get into it, and I'm actually only showing you part of the system because Craig and he's, I don't know where he gets all this free time from, but in his own time, he's constantly developing new elements of it. I'm convinced that he's trying to basically take over Strathclyde University through the medium of SEACOW, which you probably understand a wee bit. So just the background on this system is that Strathclyde University, or at least this is from my perspective anyway, I'm sure other people have different perspectives, but Strathclyde University got some contracts for what we are always referring to as GADA, which is a graduate apprenticeship and degree apprenticeship. So those contracts involved doing apprenticeship degree courses, but absolutely fully online, maybe with like one day coming in, but the vast majority of the course had to be fully online. So what they did was they invested a bit. We now at Strathclyde have quite a lot of video people. We've got quite a lot of learning technologists, and they invested in that side of it. They also set down a set of criteria called the Strathclyde Online criteria, which specifically relates to just fully online courses, not hybrid courses. But if you're going to do it completely fully online, then the learning technologists will ask you to follow that criteria. So what this meant was we all of a sudden had a requirement for video, high quality video at volume, and that is obviously going to have to include subtitles and transcripts to be downloaded as well to meet accessibility standards. So that was the situation, and they basically, as most organizations do, just jumped in the deep end and just started doing it. And I wasn't a learning technologist at that point. I was merely a support technician, thankfully. But at the time, the stories of how the process worked are sort of nightmarish. Is it?
I'll just zoom in on you.
All right. Okay. Right. So the stories of how it worked was relatively nightmarish. What you had to do, you might have multiple. You would have multiple lecturers coming and recording video. Either in a studio situation, no, I think it was all studio situation or various locations, getting all that video content, storing on a system somewhere in a folder system, and then there would be a process of emails going back and forth between the lecturers in order for them to watch the videos, to authorize the videos, to make sure that they were happy with it, they didn't want any further editing, blah, blah, blah. And then it would have to be sent off for subtitling to a company. Currently, what we do is we use a company, but I'll come to that. There's other options possible now. So, so that was the situation they found themselves in, and this is where Craig started saying, well, this is a bit of a nightmare, and there's a lot of time. We have a very limited time to get all this stuff done, and he started developing this system, SEACOW. So this system is strictly, the bit I'm going to show you is strictly about video and subtitles, right? And it's an online workflow. It's a process, and it does a number of functions through the process of you get somebody in to take a bit of video, they take a bit of video, and it's through the entire process of them being able to watch the video, to authorize it, to do editing notes, and communicate with the videographer, and then go through to the subtitles coming back, and then also they have to read those subtitles, edit those subtitles, and authorize them. Now, if you can believe that all of that is done on this one system, with its collection of lovely little green buttons here. So this is, oh, can you find that? There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is a project. You know, I've set up this project as a kind of dummy project where so there's no, we're not showing anyone's information apart from our own, and some of our videographers who are fine with it. So, I'll kind of just start from the process by looking rather than put a screenshot, you know, on slides. I thought I'd just let you look at the actual system itself, because as Kenji said, it's one of those things where it's a great idea and it's also been executed quite nicely, right? So you've got, first of all, you've got these are the little switches that move you through the process. So how it works is we get somebody booked in, and this is something we don't use SEACOW for this process. We just book people in to come into the studio, but it can be used for that as well. So we book people to come into the studio. We shoot the video. Once the video is shot, and the video is mostly, we're just doing standard video. It's like talking head with slides, talking head with screencast, the basic sort of normal stuff, right? So a first edit is done, and what happens then is the video, the raw video is, the first edit of the video is taken and put on a separate system called Resource Space. The reasons that we're using Resource Space, I have no idea. Craig knows. There's technical reasons for it. I know one kind of idea of why Resource Space is good in terms of the hierarchical structure, because he explained that to me in baby terms. Anyway, so it gets put on Resource Space, and once it's on Resource Space, SEACOW is able to bring it through so that you can see, now the view that you're seeing right now is my view, so it's the manager's view. So I can basically see everything, and I can switch everything on and off. So I'll show you a slightly different view in a moment. So once the video is here, then we have an option to review the video. So this is playing through Resource Space, isn't it? Yes. So it's playing through Resource Space, but it's embedded in here. And this is the video editing section of SEACOW that Craig set up, where I can play the video, and I can also I don't know where's this. Yeah, you can play it at 1.5 times and 2 times if you're sick of listening to yourself, which a lot of people do get. And then once you see a mistake, you can just pause it and you can add your note, and it automatically puts the timestamp in there for them so you can see. So while you're adding notes, the system is, oh, sorry, I missed the first stage, which is the thing that always amazes me about it, being an old man as I am. So once the videographer has uploaded it to Resource Space and put shoot schedule, shoot complete, and then done the first edit complete, once they do that switch to green, the system sends an automatic email to the lecturer saying, you've got a video now that's got the first edit, please go in and take a look at it. They can just click on that single link, it takes them to this system, then they get to look at it, and they say there's a big blue bar in front of my face, that doesn't look very good, for example. So then they add in their notes, and as they're adding in notes, the system sends automatic emails to the video producers saying there are notes here, you know, like go in and take a look at it. But to be honest, we found that the video producers, they're using the system all the time, so they're generally going in the morning and just taking a look and seeing what there is to do. And on that note as well, there is I think in the other view, oh no, it's not there. It's this view. If I just hit this up, then as you can see, it's quite a smooth interface, which the thing I particularly like about it. But you can see there's little to do. Icons that come up to tell you there's something to do. There's also different colors. I can't quite remember what all the colors mean, but Craig will run you through them if you like. He told me not to refer to him in this thing. He just likes to sit in the background, which is why I'm referring to him so often. So so once this is complete, once so there's a back and forth between the video producers and the lecturers. Sometimes our video producers choose to send emails as well. If there's something that's a bit odd and it can't be just done with like single things, they might send an email saying, right, okay, this is why we can't do the edit that you were talking about, but here's a suggestion I've got. So it's flexible in that way. You're not sort of locked into only communicating through this. But once this is finished and they're happy with the lecturer is happy with it, you'll click video approved, and then that kicks off the next part of the next phase of the system, which means the videographer goes, okay, now I know this video is done, I can upload this to eStream, which is one of our video servers. eStream has some advantages and some disadvantages. So there's, anyway, I'll not go any further into that, but basically at the moment, most of our video that's uploaded, embedded into our VLE, which is called My Place, based on Moodle, it's running through eStream, right? So the video goes to eStream, it gets uploaded to eStream. Again, the other part that I think of as magic, right, is that the system then sends an email to the subtitling company and says, here's a link to the video, please give us some subtitles, and then they come back and somehow send the subtitles back into the system. I don't know how that works, and I think I'd like to maintain my childlike innocence on that particular point. But so anyway, so once it's uploaded to eStream, there's a switch here for videos on My Place. That's my job as the person. So I think I need to take a short sort of break in describing the system to just explain slightly about the different roles that we have. So we've got the video producer, we've got the lecturer, and the learning technologist. Now, the learning technologist in Strathclyde, certainly with the senior learner technologists, they're more of a project manager than anything else. That's maybe about 70% of the role is managing the project, managing video staff, directly managing the video staff, and then in a roundabout way trying to gather the lecturers together in a way that pleases them to do what they have to do. So, but part of my job is to make the build, what we call the build. So I'll just basically have a bunch of planners, and the planners have got exactly step by step which activities, which videos, all that. And I'll make the skeleton of that class, including uploading the video and uploading the transcripts, right? So I will only tick this box once I've embedded it on My Place, the system doesn't have to be one after the other. There's flexibility in it that I usually leave putting the video on My Place until everything's done. So the transcript comes back. And when the transcript comes back, manually at the moment, the videographer, the video producer takes the transcript, puts it into eStream so it fits in with the, oh no, sorry, it doesn't, I'm talking about. Takes the transcript and once the transcript comes back into SEACOW again sentiently sends an email to the lecturer and says, hey, your transcript's here, can you please go and check it? So I've got one here where the transcript is in, so you can take a quick look at that. So not content with the various rubbishy transcript editors that are available in several places, Craig has created his own transcript editor. Now I'll just, is that the right button to press?
Yeah.
Yep, keep testing things. Right.
So you've already approved that.
I've already approved it. That's why it's coming back. So anyway, so it comes in like this. You get to go in and read it. You're also able to listen at normal speed. And commonly, I think the service level agreement with 3Play is like 95% or 98% accuracy, something like that. So it generally is very accurate, but most of the people transcribing it are American. So there's the odd, certainly Scottish accents can throw them off slightly. And there's also very technical words that sound like something else, but they're not. There will be some indications sometimes. So if we look at the bottom here, we can't see any here because it's all been authorized, but there's a couple of highlights that might come in where if the caption is there's an unknown word or an audible word, then the transcriber will indicate that and it will be coming in pink. If there's been a word that's been auto-corrected, i.e. it's gone to the American spelling, then it comes up in purple and you can auto-correct it. But generally speaking, you know, from reports from the lecturers, basically, this tends to be quite a fast process. It doesn't tend to be too many sort of corrections they have to do. So then, once the transcript is in and it's been authorized and they're happy with it, that's when the video producer will take that subtitle, put it onto eStream. Now the video exists in eStream. We're all good to go. And up until now, what I've been doing is, so I haven't really shown yet from so that's the more limited view that the lecturer will see, and they can't, you know, necessarily, I can't actually click on that, you know, because the manager's in control of the process, if you like, or SEACOW actually is in control of the process. So what I would normally do, and this is a backup course here, so there's no student information on it, just to be clear about that. What I would normally do is I would create a page. I would go to eStream. I would take that, I'd take the eStream link and I would embed it manually into this page. And then I would, my own particular hell, which I made for myself, was I decided I was always going to put little icons in here. So I would take these little PDF icons, and also I'll take the slides and I'll put a wee PowerPoint icon and embed them in. But all of that was done manually, right? So we're doing that. So I would then go through, put that video into place, and that's that. And then I would tick the boxes to say everything's done, and you would end up getting a little green dots all the way along the line. And then also from an overview, you would be able to see, if you go into the full side of the project, you'll get like this indicator here, another kind of neat design thing that Craig's put in that tells you roughly where things are in the process. So you can see that's about half done. So there's a lot of other details that I can put into that, and there's also lots more that Craig has developed since then. One of the things that I'm particularly in love with is the fact that now in the middle class, rather than me doing this part manually, there's been some work with the central team to create a SEACOW resource in my place. So instead of clicking on page and doing all the embedding, I click on, let's see if I can just do one. So add an activity or resource, we've got SEACOW video. And so now all I need to do is go in here, take one number, this number, stick it in here, and then I would put my I'd put my activity number like 3.15 or something like that in here, because once I've got this reference number in here, it's fully integrated. So Moodle is talking to SEACOW and vice versa, and so it will update. If anything's, it means that then if it's updated, it will update in the SEACOW side of it. It will update automatically in Moodle after a certain period of time. So save and return to class, and I think you can see why I love that so much, because it just does everything for you. So it puts it in there. At the moment, you can't see anything embedded there, but it would embed the transcript, and I think very soon we'll be able to embed the slides by just sticking them into SEACOW. So that's basically it. There are other, like I said, I think Craig is plotting to take over the university in various different ways, because there are various other things that Craig is able, on his side of things, to integrate SEACOW into, and you can ask him all about them. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I'll probably deflect them to Craig. But you can certainly ask me any questions about my experience with it, which is amazing, basically. I'm like constantly sort of eulogizing about it, because it literally saves, probably, at least on our very small team, we're the kind of smallest learning technology team in the university in science. It's just one learning technologist, one video producer, and one modern apprentice who's fast becoming a video producer. For our small team, I would imagine without SEACOW, we would need at least one administration staff, I would say. Or, I mean, I would say at least 0.5 administration staff, but most likely a full administration staff. So it saves us a huge amount of time. And it also, as from a project management perspective, it gives me an instant overview of what's happening with the video. And the video for us, my previous role was the MyPlace support staff person. So I do pride myself in the fact that I can manipulate Moodle very quickly, and you know, I can make one of these builds in probably a day or two, and I'm happy that my side of the thing can go very, very quickly. So it's the video production that takes the time on everybody's level. So I can just look at that and instantly know where we are in that process, and I can communicate easily both with the lecturer and with the video producer. So that's SEACOW.